What's up, everybody? In this video we're going to be talking about just sin being normalized and rejecting God being normalized. So I feel like a lot of times in society now, especially in this age we live in, generation, sin is kind of like a thing where if you look at every sin according to the Bible, we basically do all these sins nowadays. A lot of people do them, and it's completely normalized to do these things. And forgetting God is completely normalized because it's like, that's okay, right? So it's like we've normalized basically bringing the devil straight, inviting the devil straight into our lives, like because of the generation we live in. That's what we're kind of like taught straight up, to be honest. Like, people almost like, there's some people that like, or preach God and the values of God, and some people live that life, but that's a minority. Most people are like literally seduced and invited in to reject God straight away and go into sin and do all this. Like basically, people are fed the apple of Eden, straight up, without any questions, and people don't even think twice about it because they don't maybe even realize it. And then they go on to live their lives in this sinful existence while rejecting God and not even acknowledging God in their lives. And then they wonder why their lives are not going the way they should be going. It's literally because you're rejecting God and you're inviting sin and you're doing sin. And a lot of people, actually, the funny thing is we even acknowledge we're doing bad things. Like, I know this is bad for me, or I know I shouldn't do this thing, but we go do it anyway. So like, I don't know, this could be like hooking up, alcohol, partying, I don't know, even lust in every way, greed, eating too much food, eating bad food, doing things you should not be doing, basically, is usually sin. Not having a pure heart and all that. That's usually what leads to sin. Not doing things with a pure heart. And then you wonder why your life is not going good. And a lot of people in this generation, it's kind of hard to avoid getting into that in some period of your life, unless you were grown up extremely well in an extremely good family and you come from a perfect, almost a perfect background when it comes to like Christianity and being taught, you had really good parents that taught you all the good values and they're really good Christians, then sure, you might be well off. But even then, the world has temptations. And when everybody around you is sinful or rejects God, you might end up falling for that if you don't have a strong base to support you, or God, in this case, to support you. So this is kind of the problem we have in this generation and society, is that all these people that reject God, and we acknowledgingly almost do sin in a sense. Like it's normalized to sin, like to do all these things. Like people talk about sin like it's nothing, like, oh, I just did this bad thing, and they just laugh like it's normal. Like, yeah, it's everybody's doing it, it's normal. Like, how crazy is that? Every sin is like almost normalized now. It's like, it's fine, like, yeah, just do that bad thing, haha, very funny, dude. Like, they make it out to be a joke that they're doing all this bad stuff because it's so normalized and people don't even realize what they're doing. Isn't that crazy? Like, people don't even realize what they're doing. Like, if they're intentionally hurting people or intentionally trying to just use people, trying to manipulate, lie, like all these things, like even small stuff people don't even realize they're doing, or trying to get attention all the time on, like, especially with social media and everything nowadays. There's just so many more avenues even to sin now than there ever has been, and there's so much more sin everywhere because, especially because of social media and all these like adult websites, like literally everything in society right now is basically preaching you to sin. Basically, I would say the book here that I would reference is Outwitting the Devil. It talks a lot about the fact it's more of a modern take, I feel like, on what kind of the devil in different ways in the modern era is trying to kind of make you sin. But I think even that book right now is kind of outdated because society has advanced so much further. It's somewhat accurate, but I think society has even advanced further than from that book, that it doesn't even tell every sin that you're capable of doing now if you don't have God. And it's so normalized, and it's becoming more normalized, to be honest, to do a lot of sins. Yeah, there's some rules, but there's very few rules in a sense. Like, we're pretty free to do whatever we want, you know. So because we have that freedom, a lot of people just straight up reject God because it's not cool to believe in God. And it's kind of been like religion, not even inherent religion, just believing in God has been made to be out this thing where it's not like cool, and it's not the thing to, you know, being good as a person is not the way to go. It's kind of like where the world has been going lately for the longest time. Especially maybe in the past like 50 years. It's kind of been slowly going that direction of being a good person is not worth it, especially in the past 20 years. And that's kind of led to this society just rejecting God and making sin normalized and making all of this normalized. And I think that's crazy, to be honest. Like, once you actually connect with God, that's when you see all these like people, and you see every action they take. Like, even if it's kind of small, you can see every sin they make. You can see everything clearly, and that's like what kind of bothers me. It's like when you actually connect with God, you can see all through all the people around you. You can see every little thing. I'm not saying anybody's perfect, but it's like you're not even trying to be good. You're blatantly being bad. You're blatantly sinning. You're blatantly rejecting God daily in your life. And like, that's the part that's crazy to me, right? You're blatantly doing it. Nobody's perfect. And the Bible has verses which are to be taken in ways that are adapted to the era we live in. And you have to think about a lot of the verses and a lot of the sayings in the Bible. You don't have to take it at face value. You have to actually think about it, go deeper into it, and learn it before you can really get into this state where you can truly understand what the Bible is saying and telling you, and what you can do and what you can't do. That's why you have to go deeper into the verses. You can't just take it at face value and understand it, because it's not going to get you to where you need to go. Like, there's a lot of like things that might seem like a sin, but in reality it's not a sin unless you do it in a specific way where it becomes a sin. So there's a lot of like little deep small parts in the Bible that might say something that you might not understand when you just read it, especially if you're not connected with God, and if you aren't like capable of thinking on a little bit deeper of a level to understand what it's saying. So that's something, if you're not really a high thinker. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video, is some ideas for you to accept God better in your life, as well as hopefully this video can enlighten you about different sins you could be doing, and the sins people do around you, perhaps wake you up to connecting with God, help you connect with God, and taking things more deeply. Anyways, God bless you. Thank you for watching. If there's a will, there's a way.